All right. Hopefully, we are live now. Welcome to the United States, home of the brave and the free, except for your internet. Oh, we aren't? We could be, though. You never know. Yeah, we are. So, anyway, home of. We are goofballs, people. You just have to realize that. United States, home of the brave and the free, except for the internet. So today we're talking about net neutrality. I've got CryptoCat in the building right now. So today we're just going to go over like some snippets, some basically like, actually what happened and how it could actually, how it could actually affect cryptocurrencies and miners in the future. So, real quick, before we go into what net neutrality is, CryptoCat's going to go over that in a second, but I want to give a huge thanks to my group. We have hit 5,000 users today. I am absolutely, I don't even have my own group up. I am absolutely incredibly excited. Join us, Facebook groups, CryptoMine. Join us in there. I really appreciate you guys being in there and being active. No spam. It's a great group. Keep it up. If you ever want to come in there and join us, feel free to. So with that being said, let's get back to the topic at hand, net neutrality. What is it, CryptoCat? What do you got for us? Really? So wait, who put him in? Who put him in then? Did Trump put him in? Figures. Yeah, I mean, I'm. Go ahead. What else you got? Did you do any research? What I thought was super weird is someone at my job was watching this thing, right, and it's all live, and he comes out to me, and he's like, "CamShaft, I got to show you something." So he's like, dude, they were just on, they were live, and all of a sudden they told everybody grab their things, or not grab their things, leave everything and leave the room immediately. Don't pass go, don't collect $200, just leave. So I guess it was a bomb threat. Did you hear any news about that? I didn't quite. It was a bomb threat. Okay. Yeah, they're like, right, right. Do you know what the vote count was? I didn't research that at all. 3-2. Okay. At least some people were like, okay. Wow. Net neutrality. So we've been kind of neutral this whole time, and then all of a sudden we have this change. So, in what we wanted to talk about is how it could possibly affect cryptocurrencies, the miners, and stuff like that. So, what we do know is that net neutrality is one of those things where we have it could basically in my opinion, double dip. So, let's say you have Verizon and you want to watch Netflix. They could go, well, we're going to throttle Netflix unless Netflix pays us. And then also, they could maybe even say, I mean, this is worst case scenario. They could say, you know what? Verizon is not even going to provide Netflix unless you pay an additional $5 a month. And then because Netflix is actually having to pay Verizon, then your Netflix premium goes up. So all these big corporations are winning, and the little guy is not. So oh, okay. I can absolutely hear you. You're like loud and clear, like you're in the room. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is that, so imagine, there's already states that can't use, let's say, Coinbase, because you and I are very familiar with that. We're in the Florida and Georgia region where Coinbase is allowed. Now you have these other areas such as Hawaii and New York that can't use Coinbase. They have to use some other type of, inlet outlet to hook up their bank account. So what I could see, and this is worst case scenario, we're just talking about scenarios. We don't know what's going to happen until it really happens. But imagine one day Verizon says, no Coinbase, you can't access Coinbase. Or, you know what, you're using, Bittrex and you're trading right now, but we're going to throttle that down. So you're not even seeing the real-time trades. You're not even seeing the real-time, price of crypto. This could be bad. I don't know. Yeah, absolutely. Becoming more mainstream, right? Yep. Yeah. They have the edge. Yeah, yeah, they have the edge. They can go in there with those, with those big trays, eat up the stop losses, or eat up the, the top or the bottom, and even probably have the ability to be able to short, whereas a lot of the small guys can't short some of these cryptocurrencies, right? So unless you have margin,
I wouldn't retire, but I would buy a house with that, which would be
I think they can.
amazing.
I think they can hear you now. Yeah, we got you on.
Do you want me to sing? I can't sing. That would be horrible. I have this smoky, raspy voice.
All
I
right,
sound like
all right. So they've missed absolutely everything that we've talked about, probably. So I apologize about that, folks. Technical difficulties. This is part of being like, a rookie YouTuber. So anyway, what were we talking about? I think we were talking about big whales coming in. Ask Justin if he can hear us. Tell him to give us a thumbs up if he can hear us now.
I'm going. I'm trying to do it right now. We're a mess.
We are a mess, but that's all right. It's like what, like, late. It's past our bedtimes right now.
It's totally possible.
Because I wanted to talk about this. I thought it was pretty important. Um, so anyway, so we'll get back to it. So essentially, imagine you're trying to mine.
Okay, he said we're good.
Okay, cool. I'm glad they can hear CryptoCat now. Everything you've said is a lie. So, excuse me. So basically, let's say you're trying to mine to, a pool, and that pool is located in a different country. Imagine that the United States says, you know what, we don't want you doing any type of ISP, or we're going to block all IPs that are in Japan or to here or to there. So it could be really, really bad. I don't know why you're
I love
laughing about this.
your emotions. It was just so.
It could be
It was just.
so bad.
It was a lot. It
Yeah,
was just a lot.
it is a lot. I'm
I don't.
sorry.
I don't. See, this is the thing. Like, I'm gonna play devil's advocate
Am
right
I
now. I
playing?
really don't.
Am I being like too much of a like? Am I being too scared here, or I don't know.
I think you are being too scared because it only came into fruition like 2 years ago. The law for the net to be neutral came to pass in 2015. I really think that the American people and consumers in general will not accept this much of a price gouging situation. Because
So
what it comes down to it is imagine, okay, let's hypothetically here again, say Bittrex. That's the trade I use because we'll stick to cryptocurrency. I won't use Netflix or any of that stuff. We'll
okay.
stick to that. Bittrex wants you to be able to trade and trade in real time
Yeah.
because the more you try and trade, like for me, I like to undercut sometimes. I like to go in on when something's on a run, buy it early in, see it keep going on the run. When I see it maxing out, sell real quick, right?
Okay.
Well, Bittrex is going to lose a lot of business if people aren't able to buy and sell these trades as quickly.
Right.
So I really believe, and like there, and when it comes to Coinbase, these are becoming like Coinbase and like GDAX are becoming multi-billion-dollar companies because of all these trading fees. So ultimately, they'll lose money because if they lock in a price for Bitcoin and you're buying it, say $17,000, you're buying it in.
Right.
And because the consumer buys it at that price, because they're getting that picture on their computer screen, but within the 2 or 5 minutes that they were lagged, it's jumped up. And we've seen this happen before. It's jumped up to 17,700.
This is why I suggest stop limits. Stop buys and stop sells.
You do suggest them?
Yeah, absolutely. GDAX, like, I think we talked about this in a future, in a previous video. Whereas, if you're in GDAX and you set. Here, let me pull it up on my screen real quick.
Tell me not to do them.
No, so, I won't be able to get on there right now. I'm on a different ISP. Did you see that weird look she was just giving? You missed out. So, so basically, you don't want to sell at market because market costs more money. So if you set limits, so let's say you think Bitcoin is going to drop down to 15,000, that's where you would want to put your limit buy. And then let's say it's at 17,000, you expect it to go up to 20,000. You're going to set a limit sell up there. So that's how you're able to minimize fees.
I get what you're saying. You're minimizing fees on GDAX by buying at a certain amount and selling at a certain amount.
Yep.
You're not talking about stop losses.
Right,
I was getting
right.
the two.
Yeah.
You don't recommend stop losses.
Yeah.
You only recommend because other people will go under you and undercut.
Now, if you hit the market, that's called I believe it's a taker fee. So you're going to pay a little bit. You're going to pay a premium to buy right this second. Whereas in the limit, you're inside of like you're with other people waiting on this price. So, but if you want to take it right now, there's times where you're going to pay more money. And that the taker price is basically like any general user of Coinbase is going to pay more if they're just clicking on their phone like, I'm going to buy it now. They're going to pay more fees than us using GDAX or Bittrex even. So Bittrex is, I believe, 0.25% or something like that. It's it's pretty low. Transfer fees, vary. But anyway, so net neutrality.
Anyway, we digress. Sorry,
Yeah,
net
I
neutrality.
digress. I apologize.
I'm playing devil's advocate right now, and y'all can comment on the screen. I'm like glancing over here every once in a while. When you see me doing that, I have my laptop set up right next to me. So if y'all have any questions,
Justin and Kenny always have questions, so I guarantee one of them will ask a question on what we think about this. So, but
I tell you what, whenever you're looking at yourself in a YouTube video live, I need to quit eating Santa's cookies a little bit. Is all I'm saying. I could stand to miss a couple meals,
The
especially as a woman. You're just looking over and it's like, oh,
the camera adds like 10 pounds, so just
and
think
like
of
suddenly,
CryptoCat 10 pounds lighter, then you'd be fine. Um, think
I
of
really, I really think that this is the thing. We're in a capitalist market, or just anything's about money. So what it comes down to it is, if I'm with Verizon, which I actually am with Verizon, and they start saying, hey, it's $5 to access social media. It's going to be $5 extra to do Netflix. It's going to be $5 extra to trade cryptocurrency, and we're tacking on $25 to your phone bill each month.
okay,
I'll say, screw you, and I'll find a different service provider.
right.
I think that's what it comes down to, is like, we have so many choices in the United States, that I think net neutrality isn't going to be as big of a deal, is because people go
We have choices,
where the
but
best deals are.
yeah,
But like, I'm going to, and then businesses change because where the money is. If they suddenly start losing a ton of customers, they would rather switch over to a certain kind of service. Like,
yeah.
people just follow the money.
But here's the thing: like in my area, there's two service providers, and one of the service providers doesn't actually. They're not in the whole area because they haven't dug yet. They haven't actually dug some fiber. So some of us are only stuck with the one provider. Where you are, you may have more options, but so
That's
where
a
I
really good
am, there's only one provider because they haven't dug fiber in my area yet. So I'm stuck. You know what I mean? So I digress again, but that's where I could get
So I get
screwed.
what you're saying. I guess we should clarify. Because I don't mind if people know where I live. I live in the city of Atlanta. I
Yeah,
mean, there's
ATL's
millions and
huge
millions
though.
of people
Yeah.
here. I mean, we have Google Fiber. I have Comcast. We have AT&T. We have a whole bunch of different service providers.
So
So I
you
didn't
have
even think.
options. Yeah, you have options. So I have one option unless I want to go to satellite, or if I want to go to like a hotspot, which costs $1 million. What's up with that fox behind you? By the way, I've been like staring at it for like. What's up with that thing? I'm sorry, we get off
This is why
topic.
we can't have nice things,
This
Cameron.
is why we
I,
can't live.
I paint. You know that?
I know. I just didn't. I didn't know if it had any significance. So is that the Firefox fox?
No, it's
I'm
not.
kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know. Oh my god, we can't ever live because we go
It's
off and like
just.
talk about other things. So so net neutrality. So it could be good. It could be bad. The thing I want to talk about is that these big businesses, these big businesses
It is
could
nasty.
could have a better basically bandwidth than the smaller people. So these small businesses could kind of suffer. And then like we were talking about earlier, the exposure. So these small businesses could have less exposure than some of these big companies paying money to be in the front line. So
That I am nervous about,
yeah,
because in this day and age, there's so many different marketing tools you have to do, or use just to even get people to try you out. I mean, there's
right,
so many different. I'm a marketing major. I graduated with my degree in that, and it's like, I mean, you have like direct sales, which are people knocking on your door, going into your company, and
right,
that gets word of mouth out. You have the internet, which is a huge tool
right.
to do. You can do ads on Facebook now. You can do ads on Instagram. I think actually there's some crypto backed Instagram ads. Like if you have like 1,000 followers, there's a coin that backs that. That like
Really?
does your. Yeah, I was looking at it the other day. There's some different ICOs that I've been looking at.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you have to have like the opportunity to get your name and your brand out there, and especially with companies that kind of buddy with each other or have each other in your
Yeah.
pocket. It's kind of like politicians to me. Politicians are backed by like the pharmaceutical companies. They'll be backed by the NRA. They'll be backed by these different companies or industries that we don't know anything about. So that's what kind of concerns me, because there's a lot of businesses that are actually conglomerates or a monopoly or a different version of yada yada. Like I know that like for today, for example, Disney bought Fox.
Oh wow, that's huge.
Yes. So Disney actually bought Fox. I think it was like something
Wow.
like 37 billion, some ridiculous amount. I know it was in the billions.
Wow.
But there's stuff like that. So like you're going in to hang out with Mickey Mouse, and Donald Duck, and suddenly like they're playing football with the Nike swoosh on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're advertising to kids that have no idea what's going on, because the companies aren't in each other's pockets, or
Right.
one is owned by the other. So that really makes me nervous about not net neutrality in that aspect,
Yeah.
because you'll have certain companies pushing certain agendas on you.
Yeah, or vice versa. I mean, on Fox, you could see all these Disney commercials, like every other show, and you're like, oh my god, if I see one other Disney commercial, I'm gonna, So yeah, I get it. So I don't know if that's all we want to talk about, but so could be good, could be bad. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, sorry.
Go
Hey,
ahead.
Justin. The cell phone companies, I thought, were the biggest reason for the law, like AT&T throttling speeds. Could
Yeah.
you see the cable company throttling, say, Sprint calls on their network?
Um. Yeah, I mean, I think that where you're going to see the throttling is actually on specific websites. So where the normal consumer is not going to see, um, well, they could see it, but they may not see it. Let's say Sprint goes, "Hey YouTube, we're going to throttle you on our on our cell phone network unless you pay us X amount of dollars." So therefore, YouTube would have to dig in their pockets and go, well, or go, you know what, screw you. I don't know. And I don't know if that makes sense, but it's a double-edged sword. So will YouTube start charging people because all these companies are going to ask YouTube for more money to be at a normal speed? I don't know. It's one of those things where we're not quite sure what's going to happen next. But
That's a hard one. I would say like Wikipedia is a good example for that,
okay,
because everybody knows about Wikipedia. And I've noticed recently, like I rarely actually ever use it. I used to use it more in college, but I went on their website a couple times recently, and there's a button or a flyer that's coming across the screen. It's begging people for donations. It's saying basically like, guys, like this is a free website. We run on donations, but nobody's donating.
from where?
So
Which site is that?
Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
ultimately, if a company can't pay for the fees that an internet service provider is requiring, that it will be passed down to the consumers.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
I can agree. I think that some of these small businesses are going to actually shut down because they're not going to have the means to the end. So,
You know what? And I was reading an article today. That just reminded me of a whole nother different topic, and I'm going to try and be gentle about this. Someone brought up a whole point about how it could be harming other races, religions, or immigrants to the United States as well. And what they were saying basically is, I think it's like 30% of the United States still doesn't have access to internet. Period.
right. Yeah.
Like their families can't afford to pay the $60 or $70 a month for the internet service.
Yeah.
So they have to go to schools and libraries to get it. So we already have that problem with information being restricted in poverty-stricken areas.
Right.
So now they're saying now it's going to even like double or triple the separation of class, especially in certain neighborhoods. Again, with like immigrants or poverty-stricken areas,
right.
because they can't get to the internet anyway. Say mom or dad finally get a second job and they can afford internet in the home, then they can't get access to basic necessities to do research on it. If
Right.
Netflix is $10, Facebook is $10, Wikipedia
Yeah.
is $3 to have access to it all.
Yeah.
So basically, internet would be pointless. And I'm wondering, though, at the same time, because internet can be really expensive to hook
Right.
up to your home or Wi-Fi or hotspots. So it's kind of like there gets to be a point where I think people in general will just say, screw you.
Stick up a middle
Like,
finger. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I love going on Facebook and numbing my time, but if it's not making me money, I have no reason to pay for it.
Yeah.
The only thing would be the sharing or the information that I can gather from different Facebook groups, like the
Right.
one we were talking about, the crypto mining group that we're both a part of.
Right.
Information sharing is one reason for me to be on social media, but other than that, if it's not making me money, I really don't care. But I think cryptocurrency and that side of the web and investing will be the last one to go, because the Wall Street guys, big investors, little investors, the CEOs of these companies will want people to have access to the exchanges and to mining because they'll want their transactions to go through.
Yeah. Okay.
Without the miners, the transactions stop, and that's the basis of what cryptocurrency is built on.
Yeah.
Where the miners go, the money goes. And second of all, they want these inexperienced people that are coming in and buying at a high price because they don't know what they're doing, because that's how they make their money.
Right.
So I really think that it's kind of like a dog eat dog world. So I think
Right.
that they would put pressure on the internet service providers to make sure that certain lanes of traffic stay clear.
I think I think you're spot on right there. I think that you're going to see that maybe some of the cell phone companies aren't going to be as affected by this, but I think you are going to see ISPs are going to be affected by this. Because everybody has a phone. Everybody likes that instant gratification. Everybody likes to look things up. Everybody likes YouTube, all that stuff. I think where you might see some suffering is more inside the home. And like you were saying, that I mean that could affect some areas where, let's say I'm just trying to figure out like what is this rash on my kid's leg, and you can't look it up. Imagine that. So, but then again, I mean, I think about like this whole, kind of switching over from cable, right? How many people have cut the plug on cable recently and switched over to other, alternatives such as streaming, right? So you got YouTube, you got Hulu, you got all these other means to watch things. So maybe the people will rise up and be like, you know what, we're not going to stand for this. You know what, if you don't want to give us, cheap cable, we're going to find another way.
I'm actually one of those anomalies. I think you know this because we're friends.
Yeah.
But I'm an anomaly where, guys, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you the truth about it. I actually have bunny ears. Oh, look, I can unplug you from my computer. Show you. So I don't have cable because I refuse to pay the money for it.
No, yeah, it's ridiculous. I only have Wi-Fi. That's it. I don't
I
even
get
watch the
like
news.
6 channels, and it's fine with me because I can watch the Macy's Day Parade and I can watch Channel 5 News if I need to. But here it is, right here. I'm not even
Do
kidding
you
you. This
have
is in my
actual
apartment.
bunny ears, or do you have like a? Oh, that is awesome.
This is
Yes.
cable. This is totally my cable. I bought this for like $60 and I get all the channels that I want. I mean,
How many channels do you get in Atlanta? Because out here, like where I live, we're far away from like Tampa Bay area. We get like some people like we have returns of antennas all the time because nobody gets any channels. But if you live near Tampa or like these big cities like Atlanta, like how many channels do you actually get?
we get some really bad ones. Now, don't get me wrong. I have like Laugh TV, which is LAFF, which is all, which, okay, it
People
could be
laughing
bad.
all day long?
No, it's,
I'm
okay,
just kidding. I'm kidding.
it's bad game shows from the 1960s, 1970s, and 1980s.
Like the Gong Show. Gong. Yeah, that
And
that
then
show
I,
was actually pretty funny.
that is pretty funny. And it has like the wedding show or like, what is it, like the dating show?
Oh my god, I saw it. Oh my god. See, this is why we can't do lives because we're like way off on net neutrality. But yeah, the
I
dating
know.
show, if you guys don't remember, was like a guy and he's like sitting there. He's like, "Hi, my name is Tim. I'm 40 years old and I like to walk the beach with ladies. Hit me up. on my phone numbers. 1-555-666-3333. I hope we make men's.
Oh
Yeah,
my god! And
that was pretty horrible.
my boyfriend's happy with the bunny ears, and this is why, because he loves watching Night Court. I didn't know Night Court was actually a show. It comes on after Roseanne. This is his routine. He watches Roseanne and then watches Night Court. And you know what? We're fine.
That's
We have a happy
fantastic.
little life. We
Yeah.
do.
You don't
And
need
just
anything extravagant. It's not needed.
there's a way around anything. Like for example, like I don't know if I should say this on air. I don't have Wi-Fi nor hotspots in my house. I have an unlimited
Hey,
Verizon
piggyback.
wireless plan.
Just
I
piggyback.
piggyback.
Yeah, okay.
I piggyback.
Yeah, that's
So
okay. Like
basically, I'm skipping out on $60 a month. Like I'm saving it, and I have internet all the time. I'm gonna have to plug and unplug some things. Like now, I'm having to replug my phone into my computer to
Yeah.
get internet. But dude, I'll save money anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. Think about these huge apartment complexes where there's tons of like open signals. I mean, everybody's gonna find a way to, try to limit, how much they spend and how much they dig in their pocket. Just gotta be careful though. But we digress. Anyway, so any other questions in the group or on YouTube? Other than that, I think we're gonna try to get some sleep over here on the Eastern Standard Time.
When I start getting up to show you guys my bunny ears, it's time.
It's time to go. So, in all fairness of this, show, I feel like I've been a little negative, but it doesn't have to be all negative. But there could be some positive things. I was just looking at Mesh Coin, which is it's like a coin that it's an ICO stage, which could possibly share internet between users. So basically, kind of like piggyback off of other people's phones and Wi-Fi's to actually receive a better signal. So I mean, I think that in the crypto world, there's always a way to overcome things and a way to liberate people and give them what they really want. So it's just, I hate to say this, but it's upsetting in the United States where we don't have a free internet, and that's what really upsets me. Any other questions in the group other than that? I mean,
Check Walla Coin's price on Bitcoin.
What is it? What?
WALLAOF coins.
Yeah,
I don't really know. Okay. I don't know what you're saying.
Cool. Could be spam. You never know. So with that being said, I'm sorry about the interruption in the very beginning. You probably missed everything CryptoCat said about who's in office, who's been voted, and everything like that. So apologize. But I really appreciate you guys.
Technically, isn't it like most men's dream just to have like the woman's face, but you can't hear them when they talk?
What? I'm sorry. What was that? Just kidding.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
CryptoCat, I really appreciate you. Thank you to everybody out there that subscribes to CryptoCat's channel and to the CamShaft channel. Don't forget to like, click, subscribe. Leave us some comments. Tell me how terrible it was to watch 15 minutes of CryptoCat just talking about nothing because we couldn't even see what she was saying. Join the cryptocurrency mining group. Facebook group / crypto mine. I love you guys, man. I'm gonna close it down because I think we're both like running out of steam and we probably need to get some sleep. So thank you. With that, you guys have a great evening. Thank you, CryptoCat, as always, for staying up with me super late to do these kinds of things. So I love you, man. I have a great evening.
Your hands, I absolutely love it. Okay, guys, we're